morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Julie. Good morning, Kate. Good morning, French fry taco. Wait, is it your birthday today? Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Jen. Good morning. Good morning. All the Jens and the Jennifers. Oh, happy birthday to you. It's a beautiful day for a birthday. Do you want to see my new mug? You're going to see it. You're going to see it for the next 30 minutes or so, but look at that. Mm, mm. First sip. Mm, that is strong. Woof. I'm going to be a riot after drinking this morning. Good luck to me. I decided to try espresso ground coffee, espresso type of coffee, and it's strong. Good morning. Hi, Carrie. What's working now? Hi, Charles. I'm good. Oh, okay, so didn't realize what day it was and then got the notification. Oh, good. Well, yeah, so I didn't even really understand that it was a holiday today. Like I'm working, like I have a full day of work. I've got sessions all day long and I just didn't even think about it. So I just booked them and none of you guys were like, "Oh, it's a holiday so I can't take my session." So, whatever. Here we are. Good morning, Janelle. Yes, it is, Carrie. I hope we see you on Wednesday. Oh, friends, Normalized Magic, workshop friends. We have a surprise on Wednesday. So I hope you can make it live. We have a surprise. I'm so excited. Good morning, Jacinda. Good morning, Anna. I love the coffee email. Good. I've been like alive with the metaphors lately, but my mug with the little titties and like the nice round belly. Isn't it amazing? Okay, so if you're in the Harrisburg area and you're thinking like of going to Arts Fest, today's the last day. This is Art of the Earth. She might have a few more of these left. I got the smaller one because I do like a smaller mug, but hmm, I loves it. And these earrings, look at these earrings. So, story time. It's been really something here lately, huh? Right? Look at my hair. It's been really something here. And like things are just I don't know, things are just doing what they do and it is what it is. But Saturday, I was planning to go to Arts Fest, but I was up in Gettysburg doing soccer with one of my kids for most of the morning. And by the time afternoon came, I did not want to people and I did not want to heat. So I was like not going to Earth Fest. So on Sunday, I was gonna go pick up my kids in Harrisburg anyway. And I said, all right, if I can find a parking spot, I will do a quick walkthrough of Arts Fest. And I did find a spot, and so I did. Everything was going great. I saw some friends I hadn't seen in a while. It was wonderful. I got a new plant. It's a Swiss cheese monstera, and everything was fine. So I'm heading out of there. I have my plant. I have a cup of noodle thingies that I'm eating, and I got my bags. And I'm just walking out. I almost make it to Forster, and I just wipe out, guys. Like just like the curb jump up and grab my ankle, and I just went down. And of course, I can't drop that plant. And I also had a mug. So I refused to use my hands to stop myself from dying and just wiped out. Okay. And these two older ladies were like walking towards me and saw it and they were like, "Oh my God." And like it was one of those things where like, you know how sometimes when you fall or you trip, you like try to get up really fast and kind of be like, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine." That wasn't me. Okay. I just like laid on the sidewalk and I was just like, "Oh my God, like, am I okay?" And then I'm like, my plant. And so what it felt like to me in that moment was that I pulled my calf muscle because that's where it really hurt a lot. But then the lady was like, "What about your ankle?" And the other lady was like, "What about your knee?" And I was like, "All right, I need to go. I can't focus on this. My plant has lost the top layer of dirt, so like some roots are exposed, and I feel uncomfortable with that. So I'm like, I gotta go." So it wasn't too far down the street where I had to get to get my kids and stuff. So I went over there and to my ex's house, and I haven't been there since he put furniture, and I used to live there. So he had been thinking that he would like show me around and like maybe have a drink or something. And I walked in and I was like, "Do you have ice? Do you have Advil?" Like, oh my god! And then I pulled my leg thing. What do you call it? My pant leg up, and it was awful. Like I had a massive hematoma, terrible scratch. Like it was just horrible. But I'm fine, and so is my plant. I'll take a picture later. We're okay. I actually had a really nice time before I got hurt at Arts Fest. I highly recommend. Just be careful, just be careful. I was doing too many things at once. I was getting cocky, eating my noodles and holding my plant. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so that happened yesterday. It was a wild time. Always a fun time. So anyway, enough about that. I'd love to check in and see how you're doing. We haven't done numbers in a while. So let's do from 1 to 10. How are you feeling? And when I say that, I mean a 1 is like not in your body. You're feeling like you're observing your life from like way outside your body. And 10 being completely in your body and feeling very present in your moment. Okay. So where are you on the scale of that? 1 to 10. Thank you, everybody. I'm okay. It's like my swelling has gone down exponentially. Like, okay. Oh my God. Hi, Allison. All right. I love that for you. Christine, I've been present but want to go to the ethers. We've got some mids, right? Jennifer's been spending time in nature, which is a 10. Absolutely. Jean's a 7. 7 for Chris. We've got 8s, 10s, all the signiest signs. All right. 7. Okay. As per usual, we're mixed bagging it, which is okay. You're here for that. This morning, for pulling of cards, we're going to do trees. And do you know why we're going to do trees? Because really, if you haven't had a tree moment lately, I think you should. Because that's the other thing that happened on Saturday. I really didn't feel good. And it's weird. The feelings are stranger now because it's like I can function, but I just don't feel quite right. Like my energy doesn't feel quite right and it's uncomfortable. It's like something I notice, right? It's like, so I decided I needed to go to do trees and I found I don't know what it is. It might be an arboretum, but it was very strange. But regardless, I found this place down the street and found this tree. And it was a beech tree. And it had like had roots that looked like a dinosaur foot. And so that's what I was like, "Ooh, look at that dinosaur foot." But then when I went closer, it had this perfect divot in the roots that would hold my butt and also let me recline back and then put my hands out almost like a control center to the roots, excuse me. So that's what I did. I laid down with that tree, put my hands in its roots, and I said, "Please help me." And I stared up at those trees and listened to the birds and the highway because I guess I was near the highway. Um, and that tree's energy really helped me. And so I did write that in an email to you guys to, if you're feeling that kind of way, to try, get out there and ask a tree for some assistance. I felt much better after that and will continue to do so. But the trees, it's very helpful. The energy is, we are in Gemini season, so it is a more heady energy, right? Everything went from being like body, body, body to like roof, right in that headspace. Lots of thoughts. But yeah, we're gonna do trees this morning. Trees. All right, so If you're new to Coffee and Magic, good morning. I'll be back on Friday at 10. We're gonna do some card pulls. I'm gonna give you three trees. Cheese is good too, but we're doing trees. Three trees. You tell me what tree you're feeling today. We're gonna go with an elm tree, a beech tree, and then a classic. We're gonna go with an oak. Elm, beech, oak. Drop your selection in the comments, and I am shuffling. Elm, beech, and oak. Elm, beech, and oak. Kate, did you see the email I sent with the picture of a tree in it? Because that was a beech tree. Beech trees have like that really light, smooth bark. It's like a light gray, smooth bark. And like oval shaped leaves. You switching, Janelle? All right. Elm, beech, and oak. Here comes elm. Oh my God, stupid TikTok. Okay. Tell me when you're ready. I've got your elm here. Mm. All right. Here we go. Birthday girl, which one did you pick? Okay. So you've got, look who's back. Back again. Forgiveness, the Bard, and Fire Fairy. Oh my goodness. So this again, this was last time too, right? Like this has been a thing. Um, all right. So Elm, Forgiveness, the Bard, and Fire Fairy. So here's the deal. Shit seems to be popping off suddenly, right? Like you have the momentum happening. Like you are feeling feels and doing things, and you're like things like are happening. And part of that is exciting and wonderful for you, right? But another part is harkening back to an old story. And that old story is putting you in a little bit of like a kind of thing, like where you feel you can get stuck in the loop, right? And it interrupts you. So like it's like you have all this energy ready to go, like you have it's moving you forward, but then there's something internally that loops you back into an old pattern, and it's a story. It's a story that you have not yet forgiven yourself for having. And that's the key with this particular pull. So usually when we're talking about stories that are running in the background, it's kind of like you have to identify what they are, right? You actually already know what this one is. And it's like you have a lot of guilt for having had that story to begin with that you haven't really let go of within yourself, right? You feel bad or you feel guilty or whatever it is that that was a story that was part of your life for so long, and that maybe you even have some parts of you that still believe that story because intellectually at this point you're like, no, this is a ridiculous story, like I don't buy into this. But your muscle memory is saying otherwise, right? And your reflexes are saying otherwise, and it's frustrating. The forgiveness is here because you can't muscle your way out of a program like this. Okay? You can't muscle your way out of a story that has been a part of your life for possibly decades, right? It's not, you don't need to. You don't need to do that. There's another way, right? And it involves the art of storytelling and understanding how stories are structured and how they work. So, if you haven't thought about it that way, maybe this will be helpful to help you to kind of move past the stickiness. Does that make sense? So, when you're writing a story, right, you can start with a character who has a specific story about who they are that is informed by the experiences they had as a child, by the people around them, especially by their parents and any like, figures that really imprinted upon them, right? But then as they get older, more things happen and the stories grow and change. But the core story of like essentially who that person is and what they think of themselves is the one that stays the strongest and the longest, right? However, about halfway through this story, we have a major epiphany, right? And you, the main character, has realized that you don't identify really with that old story of self anymore, and you're ready to do something different. So, all you have to do in the structure of that story is allow yourself to learn that, right? Allow yourself to let the past way remain exactly where it is because it served you up until this time and start a new part of your book, not a new chapter, a whole new section, right? Part two or part three, wherever we're at, and step into that story without the burden of how things were. Now you're here. You've learned so much. You are telling the story of who you are at this time. Allow that fire to push you through. Does that hit for you guys? Does that make sense? Is it a thing? That is your elm this morning. All right. So that was elm. Next one is beech. If you're just joining us, we have elm, beech, and oak are the trees for this morning. Good morning, Susan. Elm, beech, and oak. Good morning, Mary Beth. Good morning, Cassie. The choices, we just did elm, so now you're choosing from beech tree or oak tree. Reminder to everybody, you can watch the full transmissions of Coffee and Magic on my YouTube or IGTV. They're always there. Good morning, Andrew. You're choosing from beech, which is shuffling next, and oak. Melissa's ready. All right, let me do it. Oh my God. You're not going to believe this. Tell me when you're ready. I know you're ready. YouTube is ready. This is going to be beech. I'm good. It's going to be beech. All right. I kind of need to blow my nose, but I don't have anything to do that with. So you're just going to have to listen to this. Okay. So here, look at guys. Look at, oh my God, what is going on across space and time, my friends? Do you know, like, what are we not forgiving ourselves for? Holy shit. Okay. Well, there that is. And then we have the cow and Merlin. Oh boy, what is this story? Let's see. Again, this is your beach. After beach is oak. Okay. All right. So forgiveness is here again and pairing up with the cow. So here's another way that you may be blocking yourself from something enjoyable. Let's talk about it. Part of the reason that, well, no, let me back up. Poll. How many of you are really good at giving to other people and helping other people and being what other people need and supporting and all the things, but are really bad at letting yourself receive that? Letting yourself receive actual support, actual sustenance, actual help, even like abundance and nourishment. Like, how many of you are really good at giving it, but not good at allowing it to be received by you? I'll wait. Mm, mm, delicious. Okay. So, listen, this is going to inform what it is you need to look at as far as the forgiveness aspect. Okay. If it's really easy for you to do for others, but really difficult for you to receive, the forgiveness here is coming into play with all of the times that you let yourself down. Okay. All of the times that you gave when you had nothing to give, when you had no reserves, where it actually kind of damaged you a little bit to give so much, but you did it anyway, right? All of those times where you overextended your energy and ended up, not feeling good, not feeling happy, not even feeling accomplished, honestly, that you helped somebody because you were so low energy yourself, right? It's forgiveness for people pleasing behaviors, right? People pleasing sounds, the alliteration is spot on. It's kind of funny. It's not funny, guys. People pleasing isn't funny. It's actually tragic and incredibly sad, right? Because you don't people please because you just love seeing people happy. It's deeper than that. You people please because deep down inside, there is a hurt, there is a fear of disappointing others. There might be a fear of your own safety in play here. It's it is a product of not feeling safe, not being seen, not being heard, and not being taken care of when you were too vulnerable to take care of yourself, right? So people pleasing as a behavior isn't fucking funny, and we shouldn't take it lightly, and we shouldn't be unkind to ourselves when we find ourselves in patterns of people pleasing, because most of the time that behavior is there to keep you alive and preserve you in situations that otherwise you might not have been able to make it through them. So we can honor that journey and we can be very kind to ourselves about it, and we can also say, at this point in my life, hi Vivi, at this point in my life, I'm now ready to step into a new way of being, right? That doesn't mean you have to go back and change everything. You don't have to change everything. You can do things differently, a small little bit every day, little bits, little tiny shifts, right? Little tiny shifts make massive differences in the way that you interact with the world. Okay. So it's now moving into a space where you allow yourself to be pleased, to feel pleasure, right? To fill up your energy reserves and not feel guilty for having energy, not feeling like any energy you have must be spent, right? Understanding that you are allowed to operate not on your reserves. Like, you can actually fill up the whole tank and not just be operating on empty all the time, and forgiving yourself for not having realized that yesterday or last year or 10 years ago, whatever it is. Because here's the other thing that's coming through, right? You are really in this space of also understanding what your own personal sovereignty means. Okay. And the Merlin is coming in with this energy that is all about balance. It's actually a very Libra energy. Like we're in an air sign energy now with Gemini season, but this energy for you, my beach friends, is very Libra because it's all about finding a balance within yourself. Okay. Balance between giving and receiving, and identifying the places where when you give, you don't feel like you're giving into a black hole, right? It's kind of life giving. Okay. And finding those reciprocal relationships where you feel like you're not going to be taken advantage of. So, beach friends, forgiving yourself for past people pleasing, being very gentle with yourself, and allowing yourself to receive nourishment, to receive care, and to even just ask for something and let it be something that you accept. Okay? So that is your beach message for this morning. All right. The last one is going to be oak. So if you're just jumping in, maybe oak is for you, maybe not. Did that hit for my beach friends? Hmm. Hmm. That's good. You did a really good job of preheating that mug, so it's stayed very hot this whole time. You're very welcome. All right. Last one. It's the oak. All right. Tell me when you're ready. Mm, okay. And just like, yeah, because look who's here again. We're having so much repetitions. It's the cow. This time, though, we're not going to do forgiveness. Deer and protection. So cow, deer, protection. All right. So the little bit of a different message here, my oak friends. This one is, as I say, this is a little more specific situational. Okay. Oh my goodness. This feels like it is. All right. So it's surrounding a specific situation for some of you. So here's like, take it with a grain of salt. It's not the specificity of this one. Typically, when this happens, there's usually one or two people live that are having a very specific big energy drain situation, and it's coming through really strong. So if that's you, I mean, you could let us know, but this is this might hit for you a lot more, but there's always going to be something to get from here. So I'll say that first. So there's a situation with a person where you knew that with this specific person, you needed to have clear boundaries with them. Like there needed to be a restructuring of the way energy was giving and taking. Like it in order for it to be viable, right? You knew that, you set those boundaries, and then you kind of laxed on them because there was a part of you that felt like the boundaries were unkind because you don't have a whole lot of experience of navigating relationships with boundaries, right? So it's a new thing and you're the only one like really playing that game. So you really had to do some like mind stuff about it to make it happen. And then you kind of like, you let it slide a little bit. It was going well and you let it slide a little bit. This situation, with this person, or maybe a few people, is going to require you to really have a soft touch and like diplomatic vibes. Okay. There's something about the situation that there's like at the core of it, it doesn't feel bad. Like it doesn't feel like rotten. Like it doesn't at all. There's some misunderstandings, which is very easy to happen in this type of energy. But it's more about the boundaries that you originally set. They were good and they made sense. And there needs to be more time with you upholding those boundaries in order to heal whatever was needing healed with that relationship. A little more time is needed to heal the things in that relationship. Okay. They will be healed, though, is the thing, because unlike some relationships, these two people, this person, while they don't have experience either in like setting and listening to boundaries and understanding that boundaries are like loving, right? They actually want to learn how to do this. They want to have a very nourishing relationship with you, a very cow relationship with you. You just both have to learn new skills. And sometimes you can't learn those skills when your heads are so far up each other's butts. You know what I'm saying? Like you need a little bit of space, and that's what the boundary was for. So gentle, diplomatic, like understanding that a little bit of distance is actually going to be very helpful for you because it's going to allow some of the rough edges to soften out, and you can kind of come back to the table and say like, oh, this really worked, this made things better, I realized this, you realize that, and like now you can come together and like you kind of get the idea that boundaries are not going to make you lose each other. They're going to make you be able to have a much more close and trusting relationship. Does that make sense? Like it's one of those things where, like, you could freak out, right? You can freak out because you're like, "Oh, no, like, I've ruined it, but it's just a new way of doing relationships and trusting that the other person too wants to do this with you, right? Like, they want to have this experience of a nourishing, like, top level relationship. You just both have a lot of old patterns that you need to, like, blah, get out of there, plus some energy between the two of you that needs cleared, right? And the only thing that can do that is like some air, and you can't, like I said, you don't get air when you're so far up each other's bums. So it's specific, right? But okay, maybe specific to more than one of you, so that's good. Actually, it feels very specific to me too now that I've said all of that. So okay, we have our marching orders. Keep your boundaries. They were there for a reason. There is generally an air of reciprocity and love at the base of this, at the core of this, and you just remind yourself of that, right? Remind yourself of that. Okay. So there you go. That is your oak. That's your oak message for today. Now, a couple things to know. We're about to hit June. If you are interested in one-on-one work with me, which is more of a therapeutic container right now, please do not book a reading with me if what you want is kind of like, oh my God, is someone going to break up with me? Should I take the job? Like, I'm not really doing that vibe anymore. When we enter into a one-on-one container, I'm expecting you to also be working, right? It's coming and we're doing lots of talking, working through programs. We're doing all the stuff. It's intensive and it is very transformative. The one-on-one clients I've been doing working with this way for the past couple of months have had massive shifts happen in a very short amount of time. So it's really not something that you do if you don't really want to get moving, right? That being said, I do have space, not a lot of space, but I do have space, especially if you are free during the daytime, to take on a few more one-on-one clients. The other thing is our Normalized Magic membership, which is 12 weeks, 12-week stretches of workshops. We meet once a week. The current round will be finishing at the end of June. So if you are interested in joining us for the next round, you can do that. The best way to be up to date on all of these things is to make sure you're on my mailing list, which is on my website, or DM me on Instagram and put your email in there and I will send you all the information that you need. Okay. I'll be sending out an email at some point this week with like actual sign up stuffs and all that stuff, but that's what's happening. So working with me one on one or in the group. And if you've never been in a group with us, like, guys, it's so great. It's like the best fam ever. And we have a really wonderful time there. And like I said, members on Wednesday night, I have a surprise for you. So I'm excited about that. But community is important. And that's what we're doing here. We're creating community that is non judgmental, supportive, and can meet you right where you are, but also encourage you to keep going in a direction that feels actually aligned with you, right? So you're welcome to join. It's fam. And like I said, one-on-one, send me your email and I'll get you that information as well. And if you've been waiting for an email from me with it, I did not forget you. It's just been a crazy weekend and I'll get all of those things out this week. Okay? I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing Monday. If you missed any of Coffee Magic, you can always watch the replay. As soon as I hit end, it pops up. And I'll be back on Friday, 10 a.m. for more Coffee and Magic. Okay? Mwah! I love you guys. Have a great day. And have a wonderful happy birthday French fry taco. Mwah!